Proud of it. I graduated from Midland Lincoln High in the class of 1951, 63 years ago, and from the University of Wyoming 5 years later in 1956. At Wyoming, I was on scholarship for 5 full years and 3 summer schools. Room, board, books, tuitions, and fees. Calculated the total value that was worth at that time, and it was $10,000. Back in 1950, the steel mills up and down the valley were going full blast. The valley was alive with 3 shifts a day, coming and going. Crucible Steel in Midland had 7,000 employees. J&L in Aliquippa had 12,000 employees. There was no scrimping on school budgets then. Every town had its own high school. Fans were white. It was a great time to grow up in the Beaver Valley. Back then, on a typical Saturday night, one of the guys would get the family car, and we only had one car in the family. Each of us would pitch in a quarter for a couple gallons of gas at 30 cents a gallon, and we headed up the valley, searching for some action. Those were happy days. From early on, my parents instilled in me the desire for an education. My dad went to the 3rd grade, and my mom went to the 10th. Football was my ticket for an education. At Midland, our best football season was 1949. We won 8, lost 1 title. Only loss was to California PA, who won the WPAIL championship that year. My positions were single wing center on offense and linebacker on defense. My teammate, Phil Graham, played guard on offense and defense. Phil and I were offered scholarship at the University of Wyoming, and we were invited for a campus visit in 1951, in July. Our parents insisted that we take a bus, so we took a bus to East Liverpool, Ohio, 10 miles away, and got off the bus and hitchhiked 1,500 miles to Wyoming. The adventure for 2 18-year-olds had begun. Mom and Dad, I know that you're here with me tonight, so I apologize for my disobedience. Please forgive me. What's that? Oh well, we'll talk later. We had other scholarship offers and visits, but after 1 week in the Rockies, we signed up for the University of Wyoming Cowboys. Strangely enough, a month ago, I had a phone call from an unknown number on my caller ID. I don't usually answer those kind of calls, but for some reason I did. The caller said, "Is this Frank Radella?" I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Did you hitchhike to Wyoming in 1951? I said, "Yes, I did." And I'm thinking maybe some kind of scam is going on here. He said, "Well, I gave you a ride to Cheyenne." What a surprise that was. Since then, we have visited on phone and by email and decided to get together in San Francisco this fall where he lives. I found an old new friend that I didn't even know I had. And 63 years later, my adventure continues. Football in those days was different. There were 4 15-minute players, and that's about all that remained the same. Players played offense and defense. There were no face masks, which accounts for my nose being broken 4 times. There were 15-yard penalties for any use of the hands in blocking. Some of you linemen might appreciate that. And for coaching from the sidelines, that was 15 yards also. In college, the players on the field also actually called the plays for offense and defense. The average weight for a lineman was 190 pounds. In college, all travel was by bus or train. It was a great game then. It's a great game now, and I love it. My fondest memories are not of tackles made, games won, or personal accomplishments. I think of the teammates that I played with and the lifelong friendships made in high school and college. To this day, several of those teammates are among my best friends. Some have passed away, but a few are in the room tonight. First, there's my cohort in disobedience, Bill Graham, sitting right over here. Bobby Zielinski, Matt and Nick Jancic, sitting in the back there. Vic Martinetti and Stan Keegan, sitting in the back on that side. Thank you, gentlemen, for being my friends and for being here tonight. Most important to me are family, friends, and memories. I praise the Lord that I have a lot of each, and I'm especially grateful that I'm still around. Thank you, and God bless you.
Frenchie Radella. You know, I mentioned that Frank became a geologist after he graduated from the University of Wyoming, and he had a decision to make because he was drafted by the Washington Redskins, and he said, pro football, geology. I can make more money being a geologist, so that was it, right?
I was drafted by the Washington Redskins in 1955. I signed a contract for $5,500. Joe, where were you when I needed you?
$5,500, that probably fell out of Flacco's pocket when he reached in for his handkerchief. Hey. It's a different day, isn't it?